I'll get right into this, though, guys. Right now, there is a Volo game going on behind me, so it might be a little loud. I thought David Adelman talked today. He seemed very upbeat, very happy with this one. Obviously, the first half defensive performance was not very impressive, but he thought the team figured it out in the second, and he was really impressed with the second unit in particular. It's a smaller lineup, and he talked about that small lineup without Aaron Gordon is going to struggle. And he said, look, when you have a player like Robert Williams, that guy's going to look really good against us when we go small, but you can still win the minutes. And he thought that second unit did it. And more to the point, he said, as AG's minutes are able to ramp up and we get into the playoffs, we can play him in that lineup and really like him in that lineup. When he can play the center, you go with him, Spencer, Peyton Watson. That's a big small ball lineup. In the regular season right now on a minute restriction, they can't go to that as much, but he seems very happy with what he's seeing out of that group as a second unit that can switch a lot. He did say he thought the key to that lineup, though, on the offensive end is going to be getting the ball to the slip. You're going to trap Jamal Murray in those lineups because there's no Jokic on the floor. You're going to try to get it out. He thinks the team, when they make good reads on those traps and get the ball out to the slip player, they have a lot of success. So kind of an interesting key for us all to keep our eye on as that unit gets more and more minutes together. He talked about when he was asked what he thought of Payton Watson, what he looked like tonight, he said tired, first and foremost. But he thought he played well. He just said it looked like he's going to take a while to get in shape. I asked Nikola Jokić about that very question. He missed similar amounts of time. I said, how long do you think it takes for you to get back into game shape when you miss that 4 to 6 weeks? And he said he thinks it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get in shape. I'm kind of surprised by that. That seems longer than I would have guessed. That would take us to the end of the year. There's only 3 or 4 weeks left, but that's what we should expect for Peyton Watson, I suppose, as he tries to come back from this.
Yeah, maybe a little different for Peyton Watson, who is a child and maybe not quite Jokic in terms of recovery, but
tall, skinny guys, I'll take him 3 days. He'll be in shape, in my opinion. But Jokic says 3 to 4 weeks, but he is a heavy set fella like myself. I think with Peyton Watson, David Adelman said, the thing that is really exciting about him that he brings to the team is the ability to draw multiple defenders.
Yes.
And he said that's unique on this team. There's not a lot of guys that can do that. He says he really does draw a crowd because of his ability to get to the paint, and he thinks he's an underrated passer. I thought the pass he had to Jokic tonight was like an A-plus pass. Just drew the 2 defenders, elevates, drops it off for a dunk, a wide-open dunk. Really impressive stuff, man. I liked what I saw from Peyton Watson.
We did too.
And then, going to Nikola Jokić, he just thought that the aggressiveness wasn't there in the first half, which I would agree with. The question is why. It's weird, and Vogt, maybe you could speak to this being around. The guys don't seem panicked about the fact that they're only playing a half of basketball right now on the defensive end. And it seems very deliberate. We know we coasted in the first half, then we turned it on 1 by 20, which is cool, but it's also one of those things where it feels like, all right, there's 10 games left, or is that just the plan the rest of the year? I'd love to see them play 4 quarters, but it almost feels deliberate. Let me see what else he's got here. With Cam Johnson, it wasn't like he went out of the way. He was asked a question about Cam Johnson as a player, but it's the most praise I've heard him rain on him. He said he's a very intelligent player. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He can miss or make shots, but I think he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And I think, those two things, again, it's not like the biggest thing, but he went out of his way to say he's super smart and doesn't mess up, which I have to imagine are things Jokic values quite a bit. Cam, I thought, was very good tonight, starting to hit his shots, and he's starting to take them with more confidence. You could always tell with CB if he's taking them with confidence or not. I think you can with Cam as well, and right now he's getting them off his hands quickly.
Yep. All right. Anything else for us?
You guys were a great crowd today. It was great. The back and forth was fantastic.
This isn't a back and forth segment.
We're not supposed to go back and forth.
I'm messing with you guys. No, it was good. I mean, honestly, a bit of a ho-hum performance, I thought. I don't think Denver's defense in the first half was insane, but their offense was equally as insane. So he's like, you wanted to settle in and be happy and excited because of how good that offense looks. The defense was tough, but once they started playing defense, the game opened up to 20 points very, very quick. I like the second unit. I like the rotation they have right now with the guys who are healthy, and it's exciting. We'll see if they can keep this going against Phoenix.
Adam, we appreciate you, man. We'll let you go unless you have any other thoughts.
That's it. Take care.